All right, guys. Hey, this is an unscheduled um, Transforming Lives broadcast, but you know, getting prepared for next week's episodes, I started to look at content and for the remainder of the week, and this whole idea of parental involvement just really hit me, and I said, you know what? Instead of me just getting on and trying to record your offline videos. I say, you know what, let me jump on right now and it can go directly onto the platform. So, again, hey, this is an unscheduled broadcast, but I think it adds value, and especially with my experience this week as well. So, I want to jump on real quick and just kind of have a conversation around a couple of things that I think are near and dear to educators, and doesn't matter when it occurs or how it occurs. I think it's important. Parental involvement is important. Okay, now before you cut me off and just say good luck, again, I've been in this thing for a while as an educator, but then also I am understanding it from the other side of being a parent. Can't say that I've gone through the whole gamut, but I am bridging this gap that sometimes educators don't have, where they may be a new educator in a classroom and don't necessarily have a child. And they're taking on the task of communicating with the parents. And that is that is a professional development within itself. So I want to get on real quick and kind of share with you some of my thoughts and then share some of the thoughts from some of my past guests as well. So what happened on this episode is we'll briefly talk about just parental involvement and how it's connected to student success. But then also I'm going to share two clips from past guests that I remember, and I'm sure I can track some of the other ones that were on that just talked about parental involvement. So this whole idea of parental involvement, just recently was able to go to my youngest son's school, and they had a chess tournament, and let me back up. Let me say I volunteered for it, right? So that is a new thing for me because usually I don't volunteer for things like that, right? That's just not on my radar. So definitely want to give myself a round of applause for that. That's not something I usually do. But anyway, this is definitely not about me. But I wanted to kind of capture this moment of what it does for students, and me recognizing too that everybody doesn't have that opportunity, because number one, they could be working, right? That's usually the thing that prevents them from doing it. Usually you may have a grandparent to come in, but for it has a dual role. Number one, for the child seeing you there, whether that's a day event or that's a after school event, that has a major impact for the student. Okay, I think we all can find ground at that point of saying, yeah, that is beneficial, and what it does for that person. So I think that's very important for that person to be there. But here's the thing. Here's what I want to say to first year educators, novice educators. Here's what I want to say. When you have a parent, if that parent's there in person, here's what I want you to remember. Make sure you recognize that parent as a person. Okay. I need you to hear me. The parent is a person. That parent is not a item that you can use to fix some of your classroom discipline. Not on the first go. Okay. Don't I know, as bad as you want to do that, the you have to develop a rapport with the parent first. And if the first interaction with the parent is about, hey, this student is doing XYZ, can you fix that? No, no. That you have to deposit something into the parent's cup so that they understand, number one, do you generally care about my child? Okay. That is number one before you just oust the child. Because listen to me, like I I got stories where, you know, where the teachers ousted me, but that's a whole nother another segment. So you want to make sure that you deposit something in there for the parent. You build that rapport so that you both can get on the same table, the same eye level, so that you understand, hey, I'm here for your child. And then later you can start laying things out in order to kind of build that structure to help students become more successful at what they're doing. But don't oust them out first. I know you're just eager to do that. Then later, develop that relationship. Now, I want to dive into these clips that I have. I have one from Dr. Gilder, and I have one from Principal Thomas Adams. And I'm going to start with these clips, and I think they're powerful clips that help us reshape how we, as educators, should look at our product, which is our children, right? So I'm going to start with we're going to start with Principal Adams right here, and we're gonna lay that out. So here we go. Let's roll
Record.
with it.
One thing I heard at the conference that resonated with me is that regardless of what you think about a student, the parent is sending you the best thing they have. They're sending you the best thing that they have. And so when a student enters the building, we have to look at this. It doesn't matter how they treat or what goes on. We have to treat them as precious because again, the parents sending us the best thing that they have at their house.
You
And so
the best, uh, the best thing to have, and you have to recognize that as you are looking at uh, the parents you're talking to. Like sometimes you're probably saying they what they say what, and that's that's a feeling that we all have or had at some particular point. But they're sending you the best thing they have to your classroom. Yeah, that's a a thought that we have to keep in our head, whether that drives you to have empathy or not. You know, that's the work in progress. But that's something to remember as you're going along and you're working with students. Okay. Definitely. That full episode is on YouTube. Definitely check out that whole conversation and just understand the leadership behind. And for Principal Adams, he now has an A school, and he begins to talk about the different things that he incorporated to ensure that that happened. Now, the next clip that I'm about to play is going to involve um, my last guest out of Texas, Dr. Gilder. And he pointed out it's an important phrase that's in there that I think is definitely um, worth us listening to. So I want to go ahead and get that one rocking and rolling and get us going. So this is different. It was just like an impromptu thing that I just jumped on and started to do. And sometimes you're worried about all the other stuff, the cosmetics and all that, man. Like it really doesn't matter. Like I'm really enjoying this part of being able to talk about this whole idea of parental involvement and how it's connected to student success. So our next clip right here we're going to play is just around this whole idea of how we involve parents and how we should look at parents uh, as in our school districts. All right.
because that's what makes a difference. Maya Angelou says it like this: people will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so whenever I take my parent base, whenever I take my community base, whenever I take my students, and I let them know that they are more than just a consumer of our district,
Mm-hmm.
but they're a stakeholder, that
Right.
they are an active role, and without them, we are nothing, the attitude changes. And like I said, even when you're in conflict or confusion, all we do is we go back to who we are because this is a roadmap. Wait, hold on here.
All right. So this whole idea of looking at parents, not for sure if you're able to hit it or not. I'm gonna play it again just to be for sure and cut out that other part. Um, this whole idea that parents are not just consumers, but they are stakeholders. Those two words mean two different things. So a consumer is just someone that comes in to take in, right? So we're delivering, but a stakeholder has a say, has a voice within an organization. So there's difference, right? So they may come into your after school activities, they may come during the day, but when you now label them in their true role of a stakeholder, that's a difference. That's a difference. A different role. You have a voice, and now you're able to help make decisions, and your voice matters. So that's a difference between the two. And definitely we could dive in much more. But I love what he said, and I'm going in their child's life. So again, this is 13 minutes that I think was well spent. Again, I'm gonna wrap back around at some point to kind of dive in some practical steps, first year teachers can take in approaching this component of their classroom, because it is. It's not just just your parent law that you have to do so that that you have your checklist. Is something much more. When you invest in the parent feels safe. And I'll leave with this right here. Going to my son's chess game, and one thing that was very unique was that I knew that that teacher was invested, because the teacher came to me and spoke, right? That's a difference. Now, again, are you able to go speak to every parent at events? No, but you are intentional about your steps, and being intentional can make the difference. That simple gesture of coming in to just speak and acknowledging that as a parent, you are a person, is a game changer. Hey, something different. Don't keep doing the thing that, don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Try something different. And here it is. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining. This is a broadcast of Transforming Lives podcast, 50 educators from 50 states. Thank you for joining.